You might know him as a UFC commentator, a stand-up comedian, the host of Fear Factor, or the mastermind behind the wildly popular Joe Rogan Experience podcast, which earns over 30 million downloads a month. But no matter how you know Joe Rogan, chances are there are still some things about him you don't know. Here's a look at the untold truth of Joe Rogan. He destroyed Carlos Mencia. Joe Rogan is almost solely responsible for ruining the reputation of once popular Comedy Central comedian Carlos Mencia. According to Rogan's blog, while hosting an event at West Hollywood's Comedy Store in 2007, Rogan made a joke about Mencia's reputation in the stand-up community for stealing other people's jokes. Mencia happened to be in the audience and took exception, leading to a confrontation live on stage.
Listen, you are a good performer. You do very well with other people's I do well with my
When the dust settled, Mencia's image was in tatters, and his career hasn't been the same since. He hosted The Man Show. Created by Jimmy Kimmel and Adam Carolla, The Man Show aired on Comedy Central for 5 years from 1999 to 2004. But you may not realize that Kimmel and Carolla didn't host the show for its entire run, as Joe Rogan and fellow comedian Doug Stanhope actually hosted the last 2 seasons. Stanhope told Savannah Now the show was awful. It was so bad, we knew it was bad. They wouldn't take any of our ideas. He and Rogan blamed Comedy Central executive Zoe Friedman for watering down the show, with Rogan stating on his podcast that he felt a woman shouldn't have been running a show created for men.
So I look at them and I go, told you? I know it's funny.
Yeah.
It might not be funny to you, but you don't have a dick.
Considering the show still featured segments where contestants tried not to get aroused on stage, it's probably just as well we weren't subjected to their uncensored ideas. He fought a contestant on Fear Factor. During an episode of Fear Factor featuring other reality show celebrities, Joe Rogan nearly got in a fistfight with Amazing Race tag team couple Victoria and Jonathan. It happened after Victoria took exception to former Survivor contestant Johnny Fairplay and just straight up punched him. Rogan jumped in to prevent further violence, leading Victoria's husband Jonathan to confront Rogan. It did not end well for Jonathan.
And then all of a sudden they start going at it, and I was like, all right, I gotta break this up because Joe's gonna kill him.
When The Miz is the voice of reason, you know you've done something wrong. He almost fought Wesley Snipes. Rogan's fighting credentials are legit. According to Men's Fitness, he's trained in Muay Thai for over 10 years, has a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he won 4 Massachusetts Taekwondo championships. So you don't want to mess with him, something Wesley Snipes almost learned the hard way. Yes, it's true. When actor Wesley Snipes got into trouble with the IRS, he looked to make some quick cash with a stunt UFC fight. The UFC approached Rogan, who was all about it because he was sure he couldn't lose, saying, "I'm gonna get a hold of him, and I'm gonna squeeze the shit out of him. And they're gonna give me a lot of money, and he's probably not even gonna get hurt." That's what I thought. Unfortunately, Snipes pulled out of the fight at the last minute after Rogan had been training for 5 months. Wise choice. He loves drugs. Joe Rogan loves weed, and he is not shy about it. In fact, he's become one of the most vocal and influential marijuana advocates today, often hyping marijuana's medicinal and recreational benefits on both his podcast and his blog.
I smoke it almost every day.
Yeah.
At least 5 days a week, I probably smoke weed.
And it's not just weed. Rogan is also open about his use of LSD, DMT, and other psychedelic drugs. Not only does he drop acid recreationally and invites guests such as ethnopharmacologist Dennis McKenna onto his podcast to discuss so-called mind-expanding drugs, Rogan once even recorded an episode of his podcast while on acid. Now that's dedication. He's all about sensory deprivation. Rogan is a strong proponent of all things that he believes can expand the human mind, which includes not just drugs, but also isolation chambers. Invented by the late psychoanalyst John C. Lilly, sensory deprivation tanks allow a person's mind to roam free by completely divorcing it from external sensory inputs, such as smell, sight, touch, and taste. By floating in salt water that's been heated to body temperature, an individual inside an isolation tank literally feels nothing, allowing for powerful meditative experiences. Rogan warns, though, that an undistracted mind can go places you don't expect or want, saying that he's had quite a few experiences in there that were a little unsettling to say the least. Still, he finds that the uncomfortable experiences that come with feeling completely alone are the ones that might have helped him grow the most. You just keep doing you, Joe. Thanks for watching. Click the grunge icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.